everyone, welcome to Just Vintage Crochet and welcome to 1980s Christmas. This is a 7-hour tree skirt, so let's dive right in. To stripe mine, and these are the colors that I'm going with, kind of a sea green, a deep sea green, and sort of a silvery gray cream color. I think they're very nice. I happen to have them, and they also happen to be the right size. So the size that we are looking for is essentially a sport weight yarn. And it says here that you need a 3mm hook for this, and the pattern actually calls for 3 different hook sizes: a 3mm, a 3.25mm, and an I 5.5mm. So we're going to start now. The pattern doesn't actually, from what I can see, indicate which hook we need to start with, but based on how it looks and the fact that it's a 7-hour tree skirt, I think we're going to start with the largest size, which is a 5.5. So let's go ahead and chain 89 and work 1 single crochet into the second chain from the hook. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll be right back. Okay, 89 stitches done in the second chain from the hook. So there's the first one and the second one. Of course, I always work in the back bumps. We're going to work 1 single crochet. Now chain 2, skip 2, and in the third stitch or chain over, work another single crochet. This is the repeat to the end. Chain 2, skip 2, work a single crochet. Oops. There we go. 1, 2, skip 2, work a single crochet. Chain 2, skip 2, work a single crochet. I will be right back. Here is what you should have. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and turn. And I don't typically chain 1 whenever I'm going to work a single crochet. I just give myself a tiny bit of slack, and I immediately work a single crochet. So it wants us to, the instructions say to chain 1 and work a single crochet into the first single crochet if you want the exact instructions, but this works and it makes a nice, clean, smooth edge. Now into this chain 2 space, yarn over and work 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and this is what we're going to refer to as a shell. And we're going to wind up with 15 shells by the time we get down to the other end, ending with a single crochet in the very last stitch on the very end. Now in the next chain 2 space over, work a single crochet, yarn over, and in the next chain 2 space, work a shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Next, chain 2 space over, work a single crochet. Next one over, work a shell. So this is the repeat: a shell, then a single, a shell, then a single, all worked into the chain 2 spaces. Again, ending with a total of 15 shells, and finally 1 single crochet into the very last stitch on the end. I will be back whenever we get to that point. There you go. Okay, worked my last and 15th shell. So now we just have to work a single crochet into the last single crochet, but as you can see, I've already cut my thread. That's because this is where I'm going to change color. So I'm going to start my last single crochet, but finish it with my new color. Here we go. So now it wants us to chain 5, which counts as a double crochet plus chain 2. I'm actually going to work stacked singles here. So I have so many videos covering stacked singles. So if you want to know, there's a lot of videos, almost every video I teach how to do this. So I won't get into that too much here, but I am going to start with a stacked single plus chain 2 to replace the starting chain 5. 1, 2. Okay, now let's go ahead and single crochet into the center double crochet of the shell. Chain 5. This now starts the repeat, the chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to single crochet into the center double crochet of every shell separated by a chain 5 all the way to the end. You will end with a chain 2 double crochet. Once you work your last single crochet, chain 2 and work a double crochet into the very last stitch on the end. I'll be back whenever we get to this point here, but one more time, you're just going to chain 5, 3, 4, 5, jump over to the next shell, and in that center stitch, work a single crochet. There you go. I'll be right back. Okay, chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet. Now we will chain 2, 1, 2, and work a double crochet into the last stitch. There we go. That's how it should end. Okay, so now it wants us to turn and work a single crochet into the top of the last double crochet we just worked. And into the next single crochet over. Of course, I'm using all US stitch terms. We work a shell of 5 doubles. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Now we're going to work a single crochet into the chain 5 space, and then into the next single crochet, work a shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, work a single crochet into the chain 5 space. This is the repeat, and then a shell into the single crochet. So just continue to work this all the way across, and I'll meet back up with you whenever we are ready to finish off this row. And then we will start on row 5 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then a single crochet into the chain 5 space. Okay, that's how it should be looking. I will be right back. Okay, worked my last shell, so now we're just going to go ahead and work a single crochet into the top of the last stitch. For me, that's the top of my stacked singles there. There we go. Let's move on to row 5. Okay, so it wants us to start with a chain 5 again. Again, I'm going to start with a stacked single plus chain 2. And again, we're going to work a single crochet into the center stitch of the shell. Now let's chain 2, and in the single crochet, work a V-stitch. That's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same stitch, just like that. So that's what you should have. Now let's chain 2 and work a single crochet into the center stitch of the shell again. This is our repeat right here. So now we're going to chain 2 and work a V-stitch into the single crochet here. So it's a double, chain 1 and double, followed by a chain 2 and a single crochet into the center stitch. Chain 2, work a V-stitch into that single, chain 2, work a single crochet into your center stitch of your shell. Sometimes, you ever wonder how you do that? Like, how did I manage that? There. Okay. So that's what we're working with as of now. Right there. All right, so work that all the way to the end. I will meet back up with you and we will finish off row 5 together. And just so that you know, we have a total of 39 rows. Okay, so let's end by chaining 2 and working a double crochet into either the top of your stacked single or the top of your chain 3 of chain 5. There we go. That's how we are looking so far. Let's move on. Okay, so now let's go ahead and turn and work 1 single crochet into the top of the last stitch we worked. Now chain 2, single crochet into the next single crochet over, which is in the top of your shell. Chain 2, work 1 single crochet into the top of the first double of your V-stitch. Then we're going to chain 1, skip this chain 1 space, and then work another single crochet. So here we go. Chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, work another single. Chain 2, work a single. Chain 2, work a single, chain 1, single, chain 1, another single, chain 2, this is going to be the repeat, work a single, chain 2, at the V-stitch we're going to work our single, chain 1, single, chain 2, work your single. Okay, I will meet back up with you when we are ready to end row 6. Okay, let's finish this row together with a chain 2, and at the top of your chain 3 or stacked singles, work 1 single crochet. There we go. So that's how it should be looking now. You can see we have our singles, chain 1, singles. Okay, moving on to row 7. For row 7, let's work a single crochet into the last stitch we worked. Chain 2, work a single crochet into the next single. This is the repeat. Chain 2, single crochet into the next single. Chain 2, skip over the chain 1 space, single crochet into the next single. We're just going to work chain 2s and a single over the single all the way across. Chain 2, single over the single. Every single gets worked. Every single. Chain 2, and all of them separated by a chain 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Chain 2, skip over that chain 1 space over the V-stitch and work a single, okay? I'll be back when we get to the end. We'll finish this row off together. That's how that's looking. Very lovely and textured. This is great yarn. It's very shiny. I like it. Okay, let's finish up row 7 with a chain 2 and single crochet into the single crochet. There we go. Now for row 8, and starting in row 9, I'm going to change my color again. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and single crochet into the first stitch or the last stitch we just made. And we're going to work a shell in the very next single crochet over. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, without chaining anything at all, we're going to work a single crochet into the next. This is the repeat all the way across. We're going to work single crochet, then a shell, single crochet, then a shell, all the way across. So now into the next single, we work a shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into the next single crochet, we work a single. Into the next single crochet, we work a shell. Okay, I will meet back up with you when we're ready to end this row, and I'm going to color change at that point as well. That's 3, 4, and 5. I will be right back. Here is how this row should be looking. Okay, so I've worked my last shell. I'm ready to work my last single crochet, which I will start but finish with the light color. There we go. Now for row 9 through 13, it says to repeat rows 3 through 7. So let me go back to row 3. Okay, and row 3, we start with either a chain 5 or a stacked single plus chain 2. If you start with the chain 5, you don't have to add chain 2. So I am going to work a stacked single, so I will be adding a chain 2. There we go. Plus chain 2. Then we're going to work a single crochet into the center stitch of the shell. Chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a single crochet into the center stitch, just like we did down here, all the way across. Okay, so work this all the way to the end. 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to want to end this row with a chain 2 and then a double crochet into the single crochet. Now let's go ahead and turn. Work a single crochet into the top of the last double you made and work a shell in the single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Work a single crochet around the chain 5 and then work a shell in the single crochet. So you'll remember this row. Every single gets a shell, every chain 5 gets a single. Okay, so just work this all the way to the end. 3, 4, and 5. Then a single around the chain 5, and you will end by working your last shell here. And then without skipping a beat, just work a single crochet into either the third chain up or the top of your stacked singles. I'll be right back. Okay, so worked my last shell, worked my last single crochet. I went ahead and weaved in all of my ends. Now we're going to work row 5 of the repeat from 9 to 13, working rows 3 to 7. So we did 3 and 4. We did 3 and 4. Now we're on 5 of the repeat. So that's going to be starting with a stacked single or a chain 5. So a stacked single plus 2 chains or just a chain 5. And work a single crochet into the center stitch of the shell. Then chain 2. And we're going to work our V-stitch right here in this single crochet. So that's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 2, work a single crochet into the center stitch of the shell, chain 2, and work a V-stitch into the single crochet. Okay, just like we did before. So I will be right back when I get down to the other end, and we will work on row 6 of the rows 9 through 13 repeat. Okay, so if you're following along on the pattern, now we're working row 6, but it's actually row 12. Total of row 12, but because it said to do the repeat, we're working row 6 of the repeat. Okay. We're going to start with a single crochet. So this is just a repeat of something that we have done before. Chain 2, work a single crochet, chain 2, and then over the V-stitch, we work 1 single, chain 1, 1 single, chain 1, another single, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, single, chain 1, single. Okay, just work this all the way to the end, and I'll be right back whenever we get down to the end of this row. There we go. So we finished off this row with a chain 2 and then a single crochet into your very last stitch. Now for the last row of the 9 to 13 repeat, which is going to be row 7 in the pattern. Start with a single crochet, then chain 2, and work a single crochet in the next single crochet, and then repeat chain 2, a single in the next single, chain 2, again, in the very next single over, chain 2, all the way to the end. I will be right back. Chain 2, single, chain 2, single. Okay. Okay, all done with that. Now it says for rows 14 and 15, repeat row 7. So we're looking for a grand total of 3 rows, just like the one we just worked all together, counting the one we just worked. So 2 more rows, just like this. So we'll start with our single crochet, chain 2, and then work a single crochet into the single. So we will do this for this row and the next row. Very easy. So I will be right back whenever we are ready for row 16. And we have a grand total of 3 of these rows worked. I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. Now I have a total of 3 rows of that row 7. Okay, so this time I will chain 1 because it wants us to work a single crochet into the chain 2 space, not into the last stitch we worked. So I wanted a little bit of leverage there. Now into the next chain 2 space, we will work a shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into the next chain 2 space, we work a single crochet, and into the next, we work a shell. This is the repeat all the way to the end. When you work your last shell, come on back and we will finish this row off together. 3, 4, 5. Into the next chain 2 space, we work a single crochet. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so worked my last shell. Now into the last chain 2 space, we work a single crochet, and then that's it. Now it says for rows 17 through 21, we're going to repeat rows 3 through 7. So actually, here's where I'm going to change my color again. So I will complete my last single crochet with my new color. Okay, so for row 3, I'm going to start with my stacked single, plus chain 2, 1, 2, or you can start with a chain 5, and then in the center double crochet, work a double crochet, chain 5. I meant to say work a single crochet, I'm sorry. And then we repeat, just like we did 2 times now. We've done this row twice now. 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work rows 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and I will be right back. And of course, you can rewind to see those rows again, but I'll be right back. Okay, so I have actually only worked up to row 6 of our sectional repeat. Reason being, the next row is just like this whole section right here. Remember when it gave us our homework where you work your 1 single crochet, chain 2, 1 single crochet, chain 2, all the way across? Well, that's what row 7 is, but now the instructions tell us that rows 22 through 25, so 4 additional rows, we repeat row 7. So I want to jump back on here and let you know we're looking for a grand total of 5 rows, just like this section right here, where we have the singles, the 2 chains, singles, 2 chain. Okay, so starting row 7 of our sectional repeat, but row 1 of 5 of the exact same row. Starting with my single crochet, chain 2, and in the very next single crochet over, work that single, chain 2, and in the very next, again, chain 2, next one over. Okay, so you're going to repeat this exact row right here, these steps, for a total of 5 rows, this being 1 of 5. So that will take us to row 25. So I'm going to go ahead and work this off camera. It's very simple. for a total of 5 rows. And when I am done with row 25, I will be back for row 26. Okay, so now I have my 5 rows of the single crochets separated by chain 2. Now it wants us to repeat row 16, which is where I will chain 1 this time because it wants us to jump straight over to the chain 2 space and work our first single. Then we just start working a series of shells and singles and shells and singles like we did before. So into the next chain 2 space, almost put that in the single crochet, we work our shell. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into the next chain 2 space, we work our single, and then into the next, we work our shell all the way to the end. And you will end by working, ooh, it's getting bigger and bigger. Work a single crochet into the last chain 2 space, and then that's it. And then come on back once you've worked your last single crochet, and we will move on. Okay, I went ahead and changed colors because at this point I'll be changing colors for the next section. And the next section is repeating rows 3 through 7 again. So I will go ahead and, I'll start that real quick, but I'll do that off camera. So this is where you chain 5, or you can start with your stacked singles as I am, plus chain 2. Again, you only add chain 2 if you're not going to work the chain 5. And then you work your single crochet. And I have been learning to make mine a little tighter. They're a little too loose. Then chain 5. And work your single crochet all the way to the end, and then follow all the steps from 3 to 7, and then come on back and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so of the repeat section, like I did before, I only worked up to row 6 because row 7 is going to be a repeat. So we're looking for a total of 7 rows of row 7. So there we go. And of course, row 7 is where we work a single crochet, chain 2, and then a single crochet in the next one over, chain 2, and a single in the next one over and over and over again for a total of 7 rows. So I like to keep track of that. Here we go. I'm on row 1 of 7. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and complete this off camera, and I will be right back. Okay, so 7 rows done. Now our last row is a shell row, and I considered doing the final shell row in the green, but I think I'm just going to keep it all one solid color. So we start with 1 single crochet into the very first stitch, and then into the chain space, work a shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then a single crochet in the next chain space, and a shell in the next. All the way across. I will be back when we get to the end, and we will discuss the finishing touches. So I will be right back. Okay, so all done. Now, as far as the finishing touches go, something that is so simple, I don't even really need to show you. It's something I'm actually choosing not to do. I don't have any small children. I don't have any cats. And Merlin never touches anything that doesn't belong to him. So I don't have to worry about keeping this securely around my tree. Nothing is going to disturb it. Once it's laid down, it'll be laid down. But they do have instructions for where you can work some chain stitches, like 4 or 5 chains, and then secure it with a single crochet over and over again, as even as you can on both sides. And then you just take some of your yarn and just string it through on both sides like you're lacing a corset and tie it. That's the final instructions in the pattern, which aren't really that useful for me. So I'm going to go ahead. I don't have a tree up as it's it's like November 3rd or 4th right now. So I do not have a tree yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and lay this out on the floor for you to see. Okay, here it is. I think it is so cool looking. And I don't even know if it's forward or backward. I don't think it matters because we turned every row. So there we go. All right, you guys, that's that. I look forward to being able to put this up after Thanksgiving because that's when my tree goes up. Literally the day after Thanksgiving, we put the tree up. How cute that would be as an actual skirt if you just built some rows to go up the hips and the waist. Look how cute that would be as an actual skirt. Oh my goodness. Of course, you will be able to pick this pattern up in my Etsy shop. You will find a link for that down below. I really think that it is so, now let me tell you, is it a 7-hour? Yeah, this took me, I'm at about a 6-hour, 40-minute mark. So, and that's with stopping and doing my Sunday laundry, eating, things of that nature. So I would even go so far as to say it's a 5-hour, 5.5 hour, because it took me some time to get 2 loads of laundry done and to eat at least once. So yeah, easily 7 hours, easily 7 hours. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think. I've got a lot more stuff coming up for you. And of course, we always have our mystery patterns. I suppose this way would be the right way because I like the way the shells look. Yeah, this would be the right way because I love the way the definition of the shells look. Now I wish I had filmed it like this, or did I? I don't know. Either way, I think this is the right way up. I love the definition of the shells, and this yarn is really nice. Let me show you what it is. It's from Yarn Bee, so that's a Joanne brand. It's called Simply Flawless. The colors I used are not named, or is this Hobby Lobby? Forgive me, this is Hobby Lobby. And it's just, oh, Mist. Okay, so I used color Mist. That's going to be this cream color. And as far as this gorgeous kind of blue-green one goes, it is called Teal, color number 20. And you get 420 yards. I would say you need about 600 yards. Easily 600 yards. Now, as far as the other 2 hooks that they want us to use, I only saw instructions to use one of them, and that was to add a bead on this very last row of shells. Add a bead at the tip of each shell. I don't have any beads. I'm on a strict no buy for the rest of the year. I will only be shopping my stash because I have way too much. It's an excess and it is grossing me out. I have way too much yarn and stuff. So I find just the one 5.5 millimeter hook covered me the whole time. Easily a 7-hour, easily a 5.5-hour pattern. All right, guys. I love you lots, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.